another class, unfortunately. We are all stuck at home at the moment. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So feet hip distance apart, nice and tall with the spine. Just take a few breaths here, inhaling and exhaling in your own time while you find an even balance through the balls and heels of the feet. Just make sure you soften your shoulders, lengthen out through the crown of the head, and gently draw your belly button into your spine so we get a little bit of activation through our core. On the next breath in, grow tall. Then on the breath out, we're going to nod the chin in towards the chest, look towards your belly button and start to roll down through the spine. So on this first roll down, I want you to check in with your body. Come down as far as you can, and then you're going to soften your knees. So slightly bend the knees, hang off the hips here, and just notice how your body is feeling. Where the tension is, where the tight spots are. Have a gentle shake through the arms and the head. Make sure there's no tension through your upper body, and you're just getting that stretch through the back of the body. Take a breath in. On the breath out, roll back up, one vertebra at a time, till you're back up to standing. Grow tall on your breath in. On the breath out, chin to chest, roll down. Come down as far as you can. Again, soften the knees. And just check here that you still have that even balance through the balls and heels of the feet. See if you can sink a little closer to the mat. Again, noticing where you are in space, noticing how far from the mat you are, where you are getting most of your tension. Hopefully when we do these again at the end, you'll notice a difference. Breath in here, breath out, spine reaches to the ceiling as you roll back up, one vertebra at a time, till you're back up to standing. One more, inhale, exhale, chin to chest, roll down. Come down as far as you can, soften the knees, hang off the hips. And this time here, just take the outside of the left ankle with the right hand, reach your left fingertips to the ceiling. Use that here to twist and stretch your spine. And then come back down to the center, other side, take the outside of the right ankle with the left hand, reach your right fingertips to the ceiling. Use that ankle, gently pull here to get an extra stretch and twist in your spine. Come back down to the center, take an inhale. On your exhale, slowly roll back up, one vertebra at a time, till you're back up to standing. So we're going to start in the standing position today, doing some leg and glute work. You'll need a band. I've just tied it up sort of to about that big. We're going to do a couple of exercises to start with. You can just tie it in a bow, it should hold it. So yeah, get your band, tie it into a little bow, and you're going to place both feet in the band. And just to have it just above your ankles. So just above the ankles, and then just bring the feet a little further apart so you feel a bit of a stretch in the band. You can bring your hands to your hips. We're going to start just by squatting down to the center. So really widening through your sit bones, then bring the weight up into your right foot, lift your left leg up off the mat. Now from here, make sure you are lifting out of that supporting hip. Keep that leg long, and we're going to just do some little presses here into the band for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Place that foot down with a bit of a stretch in the band. Squat down again in between, and then come up to the other side. Lifting out of that supporting hip again. Press out into the band, keeping that leg long. We've got 10 here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. We're going to do one more set to each side. So feet back down. If you don't have a band here, you can do this without the band and just press your leg into the air. You're still going to get a little bit of work through the hips and the glutes here. So again, we squat down first, lift up, Press into the band for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Place that foot down, squat down in between, coming up to the other side for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring both feet back down to the mat. Give the legs a little bit of a shake if you need to. This time we're going to send the leg out behind. So press your leg out behind, and you want to make sure you keep that leg long. Keep your hips nice and square. Lift that back leg and reach it behind you. Make sure it's long. We want to work through the hamstrings and glutes here, pressing towards the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and place that foot back down. Coming, coming to the other side. Leg behind. Reach that leg long. Connect your hamstrings and glutes. Lift your leg. Press to the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring that foot back down. We've got one more set to each side. Send that leg out behind. Lift your leg. Lift out of your hips. Stay reaching to the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and place that foot back down. Other side now. Reach that leg behind. Lift it. Square the hips off for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place that foot down. You can just bring your feet out of the band. Give the legs a little bit of a shake. And just pop the band now over the outside of your hands. So feet are hip distance apart, nice and tall to the ceiling. You're going to just shrug your shoulders up to your ears and let the shoulders drop down. Once more, shrug the shoulders up to the ears, and then just feel the shoulder blades slide into place. Connect the arms back into the shoulder socket. Have a sense of widening across the front of your chest. Press out into the band. We've got 10 presses here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Once more here, press out into the band for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Good. Bring the arms down. Just roll the shoulders out. And then from here, we're actually just going to come straight down to lying on your back on your mat. So sit yourself down. We're still going to use the band again here. So we've got one more exercise where we're going to keep the band in that circle. So pop your feet inside the band. And then just have the band just above your knee joint. So not right on the knee joint, but just above. Your feet are hip distance apart. And then roll yourself down onto the mat. Bring your feet in a little closer. So feet hip distance, arms down by your side with your palms facing down. And we're just going to start here with a couple of basic bridges first. So we're moving through the spine. Just feel the back of the pelvis melt into the mat first. Allow the back of the shoulders, the back of the rib cage to melt into the mat. You've got your head resting, you've got the arch through the neck, and that small arch through your lower back. Basic bridges first. Take a breath in here. On the on the breath out, tilt the pelvis, peel the spine up off the mat, one vertebra at a time. So you're coming up to just between your shoulder blades. You should have a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. Feel as though you can start to really press your hips up, open up through the front of the hips, but the back of the shoulder blades remain on the mat. So find a connection here from the bottom of your ribs down to the top of your hips. Keep your belly button drawing in. Take an inhale. On your exhale, soften the back of the sternum first, then the back of the rib cage. Keep those hips high for as long as you can. Then the lower back, finally the back of the pelvis. Another 2 like that. Inhale, exhale, tilt the pelvis, peel the spine up, 1 vertebra at a time. So notice how the more you press your feet into the mat, the more you will press your hips up towards the ceiling. But make sure it's just your hips and you're not flaring through your rib cage. So soften your rib cage. Inhale here. Exhale, lengthen your spine back down. Good. 1 more basic bridge. Inhale. Exhale, tilt the pelvis, peel the spine up. Coming up to just between your shoulder blades. Good. Inhale here. Exhale, lengthen your spine back down. So now we're going to hold that position and add in a little more into the band here. So if you prefer to, you can just continue bridging up and down. You don't need to add the extra in at the top, but this will just get a bit more work through those glutes. Take a breath in at the bottom. On the breath out, tilt the pelvis, peel the spine up. So hips are pressing up. You're opening through the front of those hips. Connect those glutes in. Then from here, we're going to press out into the band and release. Press into the band and release. So you want to stay stable through your center. Release. Press out and release. So keep that connection from ribs to hips and release. Press into the band and release. We're going to do 4 more here. 4, 3, last 2, and last 1. Melt your spine back down 1 vertebra at a time. And again, take a breath in. On the breath out, tilt the pelvis, peel the spine up 1 vertebra at a time. And again, press out and release. Press into the band and release. Press out and release. If you can see, make sure that you're pressing evenly through both knees. So the band should be stretching out same distance from the center in both directions. You want to have the same amount of pressure coming out through both legs. You've got 4 more. 4. Keep those hips high. 3. Last 2. And last 1. Peel the spine back down 1 vertebra at a time. Good. We're going to do just 1 more here. Take an inhale, exhale, tilt the pelvis, peel the spine up. Good. And again, press out and release. Press out and release. Press and release. Keep those hips high. Keep that belly button drawing into your spine. Press out and release. 4 more. 4, 3, last 2, and last 1. Good. Then melt your spine back down 1 vertebra at a time. Once your pelvis reaches the mat here, just hug your knees into your chest. Get a little bit of a stretch here through your lower back and your glutes, and you can take that band off your knees. Keep those knees hugging into the chest here. Good. Then bring your feet back down to the mat. From here, interlace your hands at the back of your head. We're going to start with just some basic curl up stuff, and then we'll come into a little more advanced. I will give you options though to keep the movement more simple. So bring your elbows into your peripheral vision. Plug your arms into the shoulder sockets. Support your head with your hands. Draw your belly button into your spine and the back of your pelvis is melted into the mat with your belly button drawing in. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to curl up through the head, neck and shoulders. Keep the belly drawing in. Take an inhale at the top. On the exhale, reach as you come up that little bit higher, sink your belly deeper. Now keep the spine still, keep that height, just the hands come back to the head, and then lower the head, neck and shoulders down. Inhale, exhale, curling up. Inhale to hold. Exhale as you reach and come up that bit higher, then bring the hands back to the head, and lower yourself back down. We've got 2 more from this position. Inhale, exhale, curling up, belly sinks in. Inhale to hold. Exhale, reach as you come up higher. Now just the hands move to the head. Keep the height in the spine, support the head, and lower back down. Last one. Inhale, exhale, curling up. Hold it for the breath in. On the breath out, you reach and come up higher. Hands come back to the head on your inhale. Exhale, lower back down. You should feel your abdominals starting to warm up a little now. We're going to float the legs into a tabletop position. So if you prefer to here, you can leave your feet on the mat and just do the next 4 from that same position. Tabletop, knees over hips, shins parallel to the floor. Now I want the legs super glued together here so we get a little more lower abdominals activated. Take a breath in, breath out, curl up through the head, neck and shoulders. Take an inhale at the top. On the exhale, reach as you come up higher. Bring the hands back to the head and lower yourself back down. We've got 3 more. Inhale, exhale, curl up. Hold it for the breath in. On the breath out, reach as you come up higher. Make sure that your knees haven't shifted in towards your chest. Hands come back to the head. Keep the spine still and lower back down. We've got 2 more. Inhale, exhale, curling up. Hold it for an inhale. Exhale, reach and come up higher. Sink your belly deeper, then bring the hands back to the head and lower back down. Last one. Inhale, exhale, curl up. Hold it for the breath in. On the breath out, reach to come up higher. Good, hands come back to the head and lower yourself back down. Hug your knees into your chest. Quick release here through your abdominals. And then we've got our last 4 of those. So if you're still working with your feet on the mat, feel free to keep them there. We've got 4 more. You can keep your legs in that tabletop position we were just working. Last position is to have your legs extended either to the ceiling or slightly lowered if you can, to whatever point you can keep your abdominals engaged. So legs into position, hands behind the head. Inhale, exhale, curl up. Inhale to hold. Exhale, reach as you come up higher. Bring the hands back to the head and lower yourself back down. Inhale, exhale, curl up. Hold it for the breath in. Breath out, reach to come up higher. Bring the hands back to the head and lower yourself back down. Last 2, inhale, exhale, curling up. Inhale, exhale, reach to come up higher. Hands come back to the head and lower back down. Last one. Inhale, exhale, curling up. Reach with the arms. Hands back to the head and then knees into the chest as you lower your head, neck and shoulders down. Good, so just get that release through your abdominals here. Good, bring your feet down to the mat, bring your arms wide, and then just drop your knees down to the right. Just getting a little bit of a stretch here down the sides of the waist. Come back up to the center, and then drop the knees down to the left. Your feet end up stacked on top of each other. Come back up through the center, down to the right, 1 more each side, and back up to the center. Last one, down to the left. And back up to the center. So from here we're going to add some rotation in now through our spine. So we're going to keep the hands interlaced at the base of the skull. Bring your knees into your chest. Take an inhale. On the exhale, curl up through the head, neck and shoulders. Draw your belly in. Reach your left leg away. Send your left shoulder across to your right knee. And then you're going to alternate sides. So keep the movement controlled. Keep the movement fairly slow. Keep the belly engaged. If you want to make this easier, you can have your legs coming up higher to the ceiling. The lower the leg, the more challenging the exercise becomes. Good, let's just do 2 more to each side. Last 2. And last one each side. And then knees hug into the chest as you lower your head, neck and shoulders down. Good, bring your feet down to the mat. Just a little bit of hip disassociation here, a little bit of work through the hips. Float your right leg into a tabletop position. Now if you want to add the upper body in here, you can. You can either have your arms by your side or you can have your hands behind your head, your choice. We're going to curl up through the head, neck and shoulders. Tap that foot down to the mat, leaving the angle at the knee for 5, working from the hip. 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend the leg, lower lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee, float the leg down, lower the head, neck and shoulders down to the mat. Left leg into tabletop. Curling up through the head, neck and shoulders. Tapping the foot down, working from the hip. The knee stays still for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend that leg to the ceiling, lower and lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee, float the leg down as you lower your head, neck and shoulders down to the mat. So hugging your knees into your chest again. Good, bring your feet back down to the mat. We're going to roll straight over and do a little bit of extension work. So rolling onto your stomach. Have your hands stacked on top of each other, your forehead resting down. So we're going to start here by lifting through your head and your chest. You can keep your arms down on the mat. I will do the first couple that I do. I will show you your different options. So head resting down, shoulders away from ears, and just gently drawing your belly button in away from your mat. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to keep the crown of the head reaching forward. You're going to lift your head, lift your chest. Press your forearms into the mat, and then lower yourself back down. Inhale, exhale, lift the head, lift the chest. Shine the heart forward, keep the belly engaged, and lower yourself back down. This time we'll do a couple with the arms as well. Inhale, exhale, lift through the upper body, and lower yourself back down. And again, lift and lower yourself down. The last option here would be to have your arms out in front and then lift through the upper body and lower yourself back down. From wherever you are, whatever position you're working, let's do 3 more. Lift the head, lift the chest and lower. Last one. 2 more. Lift and lower. Last one, lift up and lower yourself back down. We're going to go through and work with the legs now. We're going to come straight into double leg lifting. If you prefer to, you can just do single leg here and do a few on each side. Otherwise, engage your core, super glue the legs together. You're going to lift both of your legs up off the mat. See if you can clear your thighs off the mat, and then lower your legs back down. As you lift the legs again, I want you to reach the legs to the wall behind you and lower your legs back down. A few more here, lifting those legs and lower. Like I said, if you prefer to, you can just do single leg, lift and lower. 3 more, lift and lower. Last 2, lower, and last one, lift those legs and lower them back down. So we're going to add in the upper and lower parts of the body together. Now if you prefer to, keep with one end of your body. Don't come into double ends if you don't think you have that strength. From here, take a breath in. On the breath out, we're going to lift both ends and then lower both ends back down. Good. Lift. Keep the crown of the head reaching forward. Keep that orange between your chin and your chest. And lower back down. So remember, either do single ends if you need to, or otherwise we're coming into both ends, lifting head and shoulders and chest and legs. If you want to bring your arms out, you can. Let's do 3 more. Lift up and lower. Last 2. Good. And last one, lift up and lower back down. Bring your hands in underneath your chest. Just press up onto your knees. Sit yourself back into a child's pose. Have a stretch here. If you can have your knees together, if you've got knee issues, it's fine. But if you can have your knees together, that way you're reversing that extension work we've just done by rounding through your spine. Good. Then from here, we're going to come down onto our side. So either side, a little bit of side work here before we finish up. So just have the head resting down on the arm. Make sure your hips are stacked on top of each other. Legs are out long. Top hand can be down in front for a bit of support. You can bring your hand to your hip if you've got that stability here. You're going to lift your top leg a few inches off the bottom one, and then you're going to lift your bottom leg up to meet your top, and then lower your bottom leg down. Bottom leg lifts, bottom leg lowers. So just lifting that bottom leg and lowering back down, lift and lower. 5, good, 4, 3, 2, and last one, lift that leg, hold it here, lift the legs a little higher, and then lower both of the legs down. Good. From here, both legs are going to lift up off the mat. Keep those legs lifted, keep the legs long, and then we're just going to add in a small, controlled scissor movement. So one leg forward, one leg back. Keep that belly engaged, wrap your waist in tight. Keep that stability through your center. 3, 2, and last one, legs together. Lower both of the legs down, just massage around your hips if you need to. And then you're going to roll over onto the other side. So bringing yourself over to the other side, head resting down, legs out long, top hand down in front for support, or you can bring the hand to the hip. Engage your center, lift your top leg a few inches off the bottom one. Then your bottom leg is going to come up to meet your top, and then your bottom leg lowers. Bottom leg lifts, bottom leg lowers. Good, lift and lower, lift and lower. Good, lift up, lower. We've got 4 more, 4, 3, last 2, and last one. Lower both legs down. This time both legs are going to lift. So lift both of those legs up off the mat, and then from here, small controlled scissor movement. One leg forward, one leg back. Keeping that control through your center, engaging your core. Good. For 3, 2, and last one. Legs back together. Lower the legs down, a little massage out through your hips if they need it. And then come over onto your hands and knees. So hands, we're going to come into a plank here. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Actually, the knees doesn't really matter too much. If you have any wrist issues here, you can come down onto your elbows if you need to. Otherwise, from here, engage through your center, pressing the palms of the hands, all 10 fingers into the mat. Send your right leg out behind you, tuck the toes underneath. So make that right leg strong. Start to put a little bit of pressure into the ball of that right foot, and then you're going to send your left leg out to meet your right. Now, if at any point here you need to, just drop your knees down to the mat, come into a half plank position. Otherwise, holding that here, connecting your shoulders, widening your chest, engaging through your core. The crown of the head is reaching forward as your heels reach behind. Hold that here. Wrap your waist in nice and tight for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop your knees down. Sit yourself back into a child's pose. Good. We're going to just do 1 more of those. So hands back underneath the shoulders. Send your right leg out behind you. Tuck your toes underneath. Find that connection through the ball of that foot up into your core. Send your left leg out to meet your right. Now remember here, you can drop to your knees at any point. If you want the extra challenge, float your right leg up, float it back down. And alternating sides. Left leg lifts and lowers back down. Right lift, lower, left and lower. 2 more each side, or holding that there, or you've dropped your knees to the mat. Whatever works for you. Good. And then everyone now knees down, back into a child's pose. Just walk your hands around to the left as far as you can so you get a nice stretch down the right side of the body. And then walk the hands back through the center, all the way around to the right as far as you can so you get the stretch down the left now. Good, come back to the center, come up onto your hands and knees. You're going to tuck your toes underneath, walk your hands into your knees, And then press yourself up onto the balls of the feet. So you feel a little bit of a stretch here through your Achilles and your calf. Then from here, send your heels down to the mat and slowly roll yourself all the way back up to standing. So we're just going to finish off the same way we started with a couple of roll downs. So getting that nice even balance, nice and tall with the spine. Take a breath in, on the breath out, chin to chest, roll down, one vertebra at a time. Soften the knees, hang off your hips, gentle shake in the arms and the head. Take a breath in, on the breath out, draw your belly in and restack your spine one vertebra at a time till you're back up to standing. One more, inhale, exhale, chin to chest, roll down, come down as far as you can, have a little shake, arms and head, sink a little deeper, then take an inhale, on your exhale, slowly roll back up, one vertebra at a time, till you're back up to standing. Just a couple of big shoulder rolls back, and a couple of big shoulder rolls forward. Give yourselves a round of applause. Well done, guys. Stay safe, everyone.